Hello, everybody. I'm Morton O'Kelly, and I'd like to record a couple of notes about the origin and growth of CURA. First, I'd like to go back to around the year 2000, 2001, and at that time, Dean Rip Ripley and Randy Smith gave leadership to the idea that Ohio State had a special place in the Urban Universities program. And this special idea is that it was emphasizing research. So we grew from what was called the Committee on Urban Affairs and the Urban and Regional Analysis Initiative to approve and create a center in 2001. There was some heavy lifting involved in this. For me, it was personally my first opportunity to demonstrate institution building capability. One of the techniques was to ensure that many departments sort of bought in and had an interest in the center. So we combined strengths from city and regional planning, sociology, economics, geography, and many other departments interested in applied urban research. The model at that time, as it is today, was to consult and to collaborate and to build bridges. So together with Hazel Mara Jones, I was instrumental in getting the center off the ground. And the sequence of events after we grew the center was to hire the founding director, Ed Malecki, who came to Ohio State from the University of Florida. And we then had directors Alan Murray, Larry Brown, Dan Sway, who came here from Texas A&M, and myself. I had a stint as well as director. You could say this was my reward for chairing the Department of Geography. I was promoted to direct CURA, which I enjoyed very much. And of course, now we have the center being admirably directed by Professor Harvey Miller. So this was around the year 2012, I believe, when I stepped down from my first term as chair, and then Dean Giff Weary asked me to come back as director of CURA, and I served there to help CURA move in that interim period. I'd like to give a huge shout out, though, to the Department of Geography for sharing many of the administrative responsibilities. It's important, so important when you have a fledgling operation to be able to get top quality advice and assistance. And we've always had that from geography, from fiscal officers such as Linda Bryant, Maggie Mary, Juliana Pernick, and Susan Mikos. So this was extremely important, and it got the center off to a great start. I think if I was to suggest my legacy, if we go all the way back to the beginning, the founding story of CURA, remember we mentioned that OSU uniquely amongst the Urban University program universities emphasized research. So this was my goal too during my directorship. Many graduates received funding, many graduates cut their teeth on funded projects. And this model of support and work and funding continues to this day. We also provided a transition for folks who were graduating, preparing to enter the job market. For example, almost providing sort of a local version of a postdoc where people could burnish their records, add a couple of research papers, maybe get a few publications, and go out with that extra line on their vita and get an even better position. This happened to quite a few graduate students, and I know they benefited from it. Larry Brown, one of my predecessors, was a really great champion for building that kind of capacity. And I'd like to thank him for that and hope that I continued that in that particular vein. So the 20 years have been wonderful. Congratulations to CURA on this anniversary. And here's to the next 20. Thank you.
That was great. Everything worked really well that time.
Oh, good. Thanks. Okay, so you got the recording and the video seem to be synced up, and feel free to edit or I tried not to have too many hesitations, but it's hard to ad-lib it all the way through.
No, you did really well. Obviously, I'll edit this part out. I'm actually just going to stop recording now.
Yeah. No, you can leave it in there.